date night.
Extraterrestrial.
Going deep, boy.
Hypnotizing. Could you be the devil? Could you be an angel? Your touch, magnetizing. Physically I'm floating. Be afraid. You're not like the others. Futuristic lovers. DNA. They don't understand you. You're from a whole nother world. A different dimension. You open my eyes, and I'm ready to go. Lead me into the light. Supersonic, wanna feel your power. Stun me with your laser. Your kiss is cosmic. Every move is magic. You're from a whole other world, a different dimension. You open my eyes, and I'm ready to go. Lead me into the light. This is transcendental on another level. Boy, you're my lucky star.
This is where it goes next level.
Wanna walk on your wavelength and be there when you vibrate. For you, I'll risk it all. Kiss me, kiss me.
My Jew, my beautiful white Jew. Pagans talking smack, saying Jesus was a Jew. I tell them curse Vishnu and go cry in the pews. Hit me with the facts. I I hit you with the coke. Blonde hair, blue eyes, that's my only hope. We've been the truth, but we bend it with love. For our ruddy rabbi Jesus, he is sent from above. If you don't worship my Jew, you're a Jew, you're a Jew. Sing it loud, sing it proud. Me and my crew, ruddy cheeks glowing, eyes so blue. If you don't worship my Jew, you're a Jew. You're a Jew, you're a Jew, you're a Jew. King of the Jew, more like king of the bass. We rebranded him harder than a Hollywood face. Oh, they can quote the Bible, I just close my eyes. Picture him with fair skin under Judean skies. Oh, we bend the truth, but we bend it with love. For our ruddy rabbi Jesus, he is sent from above. If you don't worship my Jew, you're a Jew, you're a Jew. Sing it loud, sing it proud. Me and my crew, ruddy cheeks glowing, eyes so blue. If you don't worship my Jew, you're a Jew. You're a Jew, you're a Jew. Yes, 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 he's Jewish by birth, but he's white. Yes, he read the Torah, but he's white. Yes, he came from Israel, but he's white. And he's mine tonight. If you don't worship my Jew, you're a Jew, you're a Jew. Hands up, everybody, me and my crew. This cope is forever, this cope is true. Don't worship my Jew, you're a Jew. You're a Jew, you're a Jew.
Last one. I haven't seen this one. It's brand new. Check out the Jesus in the stained glass behind him. Who knows? Whoa, who's that hunky construction worker?
Of memories invented. Is your head still in the clouds? I guess that's a given. I know you've made up your mind, but maybe
Justin
given some
Timberlake?
time,
Justin
you'll
Bieber?
begin to see what I made. Stand on your own 2 feet. Have faith in
Adam
your
King working at Geico.
abilities. Confront what you're most scared of, and never admit defeat. No one is coming to save us. Conventional morality is what keeps us mentally. Instead, become distinct. Please, won't you wake up? I think you believed enough.
Dude, the mullet. I need a mullet. Just like
Future
that.
you're thinking of was never meant for us, for us. It was for scared old men to impose on who they depend. A meager inheritance sold off to a far off land. Stand on your own 2 feet. Have faith in your abilities. Confront what you're most scared umbrella through necessity, not an omnipotent being. Become who you ought to be, ruler over everything. Stand on your own 2 feet. Have faith in your abilities. Confront what you're most scared of. And never admit defeat.
Yeah, this is the latest macro.
To save us. Conventional morality is what keeps us mentally
White Jesus.
weak. Instead, become distinct. Do you still live in
What?
the
Let's go.
of memories invented?
Dude, the book looks good. Oh, you guys want it signed?
I guess
Yo.
that's a given.
This is
I
so
know you've
funny.
made up your mind, but
Is that
maybe
Paper
give it
Jesus?
some time.
Whoa, he's really sweaty.
You'll begin to
What the hell?
see what I mean.
Wow, that was amazing. I don't know exactly what that was, but it was amazing. I love the book signing. That's epic. Good idea for a thumbnail too. Me at some book signing, or me at like a conference or something. Something like that. That was fire. Well, the show got cut short earlier today, so we're back here to try to stay caught up with everything I want to talk about with you guys. You know the routine. powerchat.live/knowmorenews. Getting that turned on right now. That's in the pin to the top of the Rumble. Still have a ton of stuff to get into. Before we start rehashing more of the stupid Charlie Kirk stuff, we're going to touch on some other things. Some more important issues, but it is important to expose this massive psyop that is dominating the discourse right now into kosher BS. Let's see this first. See through it all says, look at Andrew Wilson's face. Andrew Wilson had a debate over Christian Zionism or supporting Israel or something is the topic with Dinesh D'Souza. Let's see that.
Supporting Israel here basically means having a certain recognition of a kind of spiritual and historical kinship or line of continuity established, by the way, in the Bible. And don't think of the Old Testament as Jewish. The New Testament is just as Jewish as the Old.
Good one. Good one. Just as Jewish as the Old Testament. So true.
Both are describing Jewish communities, and Christianity came right out
Do
of
you
it.
disagree that it's just as Jewish? I mean, maybe it's a little less Jewish because it's written in Greek and opened up to the Gentiles. I guess I can argue. I can concede that. It's a little less Jewish, but still thoroughly Jewish. But Andrew's face there is funny.
Are describing Jewish communities, and Christianity came right out of that. In fact, the first Christians were Jews. They were Jews who followed the Messiah. I think historically we could say with great accuracy they were the very first Judeo-Christians.
So
The
true.
apostles were Judeo-Christians.
Yep.
Supporting Israel here basically means
See Through It All had another post where he said like 20 minutes arguing over if he's a Jew. Your spiritual homeland is in Israel.
in Israel you're very conscious that you're in the land of the Bible. That is a very important feeling for Christians. You get the sense that this is your spiritual homeland. And by spiritual homeland, what I mean is that our faith is not some kind of abstraction that is delivered in the sky. It could have been. God could have put the 10 Commandments, he could have put it on the moon. But he didn't do that. Our Bible, our history, our Christianity is historical. It's rooted in real people and real events and real places. It took place.
Only the stuff about Pilate and John the Baptist, they took from Josephus, the author of Mark, and then Matthew and Luke that got it from Josephus. They tried to place it in history with historical figures. Jesus is not historical.
Real people and real events and real places.
Nor are all the major figures of the Old Testament real historical people. And there's, at the very least, there's no evidence that they actually existed.
It's rooted in real people and real events and real places. It took place somewhere in the world, and that somewhere happens to be Israel. That's worth remembering and worth noting. In Israel, you're very conscious that you're in the land of the Bible. That is a very important feeling.
We got some new Netanyahu clips too. Let's see some of these other ones he's got here. Thanks for the retweet, see through it all. Andrew Wilson wants a new crusade on Israel.
What I think is this, is that I agree with a lot of what Dinesh says when he's talking about the rights of nations, especially when he's talking about conquest. I just think that you're not in a position to bargain if you're a protectorate.
Right.
The Holy Land does not just belong to Jews. An Orthodox church sits on the tomb of Jesus. Why is it that we don't continuously allow, Dinesh, for Christians to immigrate to Israel and make that demand that they allow it? Because there would be tens of thousands who would. And it's not like they're in a position to bargain.
Would they?
Why do we need to leave it a Jewish state? Exactly. Why is it necessary?
Why would so many Christians want to move to the Holy Land in Jerusalem if it's not your spiritual homeland? He's like confirming all of his points. That's so cucked. You want to go move to Israel for Jesus? Imagine there's Christians that are that spiritually and geographically cucked.
A bargain. Why do we need to leave it a Jewish state? Exactly. Why is it necessary?
Well, first of all, we do live in a world of sovereignty where a lot of what you've been talking about, we need to seal our borders. America has every right to decide who comes in. But then when it comes to Israel, somehow they don't have that right. They can't decide who gets
to go to Israel. It's not a right.
Israel.
Hang on. It's not a right. A right is what you can enforce.
This whole
a right is what you can enforce, and they have no choice. We do. We're the United States. We can tell you can't come in here, fucker. But if we couldn't, what do you say? Conquest. It's conquest. If you're a protectorate, you don't have rights except the rights that you are given by those who protect you, and that's that.
All right. So you have a holy land. By the way, the Holy Land is not just Israel, right? There are holy sites in Jordan. There are holy sites all over the region. The Muslims maintain iron control over the holy sites in their countries. Christians have no rights. If you've been to any of the holy sites in Israel, as I have, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is thronging with Syrian nuns and nuns from India and priests from Africa. It's open. All faiths can come there. There's no restriction. So the argument that we should use military force,
I didn't say military force,
or we should strong arm Israel, that we need 100,000 Christians to go over there to keep an eye on the holy sites. This is an invented solution to a non-problem.
Well, wait.
And it is done with just malicious intent. Because you would never say that of any other country.
Yes, I would.
No,
I would
you
say
wouldn't.
the same thing. Any protectorate that we have, where we allow immigration to us, we should demand that they allow.
His argument, hold on. His argument against Zionism and Christian Zionism is, why don't we have a new crusade and Christians go move to Israel? That's the answer to opposing the Jews, apparently, is we move to Israel. We're the new Israel, and we're going to move to Israel. That's their opposition to Zionism. Whoa. Think of it that way. Their opposition to Zionism consists of being Christian Zionists and wanting to move to Israel themselves. That's crazy.
Immigration there, period.
Okay, so
Period,
what should we do?
Dinesh destroys an e-crusader. Okay.
Question
Dinesh,
from the audience. To the Bible, right? Dinesh, to get to the Bible, right? In Isaiah 63, verse 10, God turns his back on the Israelites because they disobeyed and broke the covenant. Hosea chapter 1, verse 9, they did the same thing, and he said to them, "You are not my people, I'm not your God." And then Christ himself, when he was brought before Pontius Pilate, the Jews said, "We crucify him," something like that, and they accepted the curse. So why should Christians be morally obligated to support the ideologies that put God on a cross?
Curse. Okay. The Christian story in the Gospels says that the Jews accepted the curse. They said, "Curse us, God. We're so evil. We want to kill the Jewish Messiah. That curse us forever and our children forever." Imagine believing that story. And they didn't say curse us forever. They say, "May his blood be upon us," which the blood of the lamb of the goat is what heals.
Their time and energy on Jewish myths. Imagine what they would debate if they did not believe in these myths.
Yeah, if there was no Christianity, we wouldn't be arguing over that little strip of land in the Middle East. I'll tell you that. This is such a funny question.
Support the ideologies that put God on a cross.
Okay. I'm going to read you from Paul's letter to the Romans. This is 11, 28, 29. I'm reading verbatim. This is Paul talking.
Romans 11.
About the Jews. Hold on. He's talking about the Jews. He's talking about the Jews. Concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sake. But concerning the election,
But they're
they are
still
beloved
chosen.
for the
Hated
sake
and
of the
enemies, but
fathers.
chosen.
For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. End quote. The meaning of this is that
he says irrevocable. I've also heard irrevocable. Is it irrevocable or irrevocable, guys? Candace, can you clear this up for us? Candace, if you're out there, irrevocable or irrevocable? I don't know. I've heard both.
God never permanently turns his back on the Jews. God never revokes his promises. You will not find a single passage in the Old Testament or the New which says whatever God gave to Abraham, God took it all back. Okay. Even though there are groypers who talk about that now, we should go occupy Israel. It really belongs to the Christians because Jesus was a Christian. The truth of it is that the salvation, out of Jesus' own mouth, salvation is from the Jews. I mean, this passage must really... I talked about some suppositories, right? Here's one from Jesus himself.
Drop mic.
Salvation is from the Jews, and the rest of us have the opportunity to be grafted in. In other words, there's no salvation without the Jews. Now, is anything that Andrew said today even remotely consistent with that? No.
You know that same chapter you brought up? Paul actually says the people of the old covenant were the ones getting crafted out.
Crafted
and then
out?
we, the
Cite the
Gentiles, are the
passage.
ones being put in.
11:22 and 27. It reaffirms the fact that the wild branches grafted can be cut off.
Yeah, they're cut off. But they had, according to God's mystery, the Jews had to reject their Messiah and kill him and give the sacrifice so that those branches that are cut off give a place for the Gentile wild branches to be grafted in. But it had to happen according to God's plan. He's right.
Are the ones being put in.
11:22 and 27. It reaffirms the fact that the wild branches grafted can be cut off. There you go.
All right, we'll jump to the next.
Yeah.
So yes, Andrew did say things that remotely support that. Yes.
No, he didn't.
Yes, it did.
He paraphrased something that he's interpreting in his own way.
I know. Who interprets the Bible? You? You're the ultimate authority.
Well, no, I mean, I read it for you to interpret for yourself.
Well, and I just did.
It speaks for itself.
I just did, and I
we'll jump.
interpreted it differently.
I didn't. I grant it says, Paul says that the Jews that rejected Jesus are cut off, but it says all of Israel will be saved is the very next section though. All of Israel. See, he does a midrash as it is written. He will take away their sins. Doxology. Christians got a PhDs in doxology, don't they? Thank you. Watch the collapse for the Twomper.
$20 on Rumble.
You haven't.
Haven't donoted in a while. Love you, bro. Shekel challenge. Adam's got kids and a lady. White unity, guys. We are the solution. Support each other. Just look at the mind virus we're up against. 07.
Yeah, I need help. You gotta fuel me against the Judeo-built globalist. Against the enemy. Thanks, Watch the Collapse. Appreciate you, bro.
We as a country have to make a political calculation about...
Let's see. Do we got any more that I'm missing here?
The Jews are basically the good people in a really bad neighborhood made up of really bad people who wish us evil no less than them. Right there is a link And this is not even considering the historical, the religious, the civilizational, the Athens and Jerusalem, the fact that our own heritage is inconceivable without the Old Testament, no less than the New. We are linked historically, morally, and it so happens to be that there is a current serious one, the fact that somehow Israel...
Here it is. Christianity's complete Jewish brain rot. 12 minutes arguing over if Jesus is Jewish.
Your argument is that God
I
foresaw
can't do it.
that
Heavenly
Jesus
Hans
Hey,
was...
Heavenly Hans,
$10
what's up,
payout.
bro?
Big love for spinning the ruddy boys in the intros.
Yeah.
The show's been fire and this time slot is perfect. Keep crushing it.
I'll just stream all day, every day, so I'm in every time slot. It's a little late. I'm on West Coast time, so it's sad. Like, if I start at 9, it's midnight for everybody else, but that's when the girls go to bed. I did a stream this morning, too, after I wake up.
would be the Redeemer of the world from the beginning of the world.
Because God's not temporal, he's omnipotent, he's omniscient.
Correct.
So if that's the case and Jesus Christ is God, right?
Yes.
Then how could it possibly be that he, as he saw Jesus' crucifixion, knew his purpose for the world and heralded it with every single prophet he had, that his purpose in life...
Heralded it with every single prophet he had. Dude, Andrew, come on. You're a smart dude, Andrew. They wrote a story based on scripture. Not a magical superhero fulfilling all of these ancient Jewish scribbles. Please.
God's wasn't Christianity. And he wasn't a Christian if that was the entire purpose.
Oh, right. And he wasn't a Christian. See, so that's that last quick move that you make that's completely fallacious.
How's it
God could have
fallacious?
seen from the beginning of the world,
Yeah.
I will take an itinerant Jewish rabbi who was born a Jew named Yeshua, whose dad was a Jew named Yosef, and his mom was a Jew named Miriam, who kept all the Jewish rites and celebrated all the Jewish festivals and taught as a Jew coming to save the Jews first and foremost, and then later allowing other non-Jews to be grafted in. The Bible couldn't be more clear about this. Jesus was the Jewish savior of the world.
This literally doesn't
Now,
refute my
in
argument
Antioch-
at all. It's not
It
even
does refute
contending
your
with it.
argument. It
If
does
God
refute
is
your argument
omnipotent
because-
and God
What's
is
the
omniscient,
argument?
and God saw that the purpose for himself was to die on the cross for our sins at the very beginning of time, his purpose was Christendom, and he was a Christian. How could it be anything else? It's not even logically possible for anything else to occur. You say you
It
can't
is
call,
logically
you can't call
possible.
Marx a
Okay,
Marxist.
so he's just
What
going
if
to do
Marx
12
was-
minutes of Jews. The Bible's really Christian. 12 minutes of that. That's the whole thing's going to hinge on a semantic word game like that. Like anachronistic pill pull trick. Wilson says even Judaism leads to evil secularism.
Let's test your proposition that Judaism itself gives rise to secular degeneracy.
Sure.
You've had
Judaism gives rise to Christianity and Islam. How does Judaism, which its whole goal is like believing in the Bible and religion and Jewish gods and being a Noahide, promote secularism?
communities in many, many parts of the world over many, many centuries.
Like Israel?
No, I'm talking about the diaspora.
Okay.
And I'm talking about through the Middle Ages, through the end of the Roman Empire, in the time of the Renaissance and the Reformation. Now, you would expect, if Judaism is the problem, that all the secular degeneracy would emerge by itself inside of these tribal Jewish communities. You'd expect, for example, that when Shakespeare talks about the Merchant of Venice, the Jews would be like having sex with a dog, or they would be, killing off their kids, or they would be engaging in all kinds of moral degeneracy. You get the exact opposite picture. The Jews maintained not only their tribal identity, but a strict regimen of laws and codes and commandments. Shylock is upset with his daughter because she marries a Christian. But from Shylock's point of view, that is not moral laxity. That is a rigorous enforcement of Jewish orthodoxy. So,
Yeah,
the
but this
secular,
is a-
the secular
Okay, go ahead.
degeneracy emerges in the West outside of the Jewish community, then it penetrates and pollutes the Jewish community, and you're trying to blame Judaism for it.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you that all heretical ideologies.
Yeah, like actual, like
Anonymous sent
Hasidic and
$5
Orthodox Jews
couldn't be
don't
happier
like the
watching
secular
this
world.
debate. A Pajit man and a white man arguing about their book.
I know. Think of all the time throughout history that's been wasted arguing over these Jewish fairy tales. It sickens me.
Lead to secular progressive values because they don't hold the truth of Christ. If you don't hold the truth of Christ, you cannot know the truth. Period.
So if you're not a Christian, you're secular. Apparently, if you don't believe in Jesus, it's de facto you're secular. Not really. Prove it. 2 Christians blame all the problems in America on secularism.
In the case of the Northeast, the progressivism comes out of
This sounds better. Wilson is afraid that Israel is going to name the Antichrist.
We're talking about whether or not Christians have a moral ought.
Well,
What is
Christians
the
are also
specific moral ought a Christian has based on Christian ethics, our paradigm, our worldview, not the secular lens, not the secular view, the Christian view. Why do we have to support a Jewish state that could name Antichrist? Why?
because, first of all, you can't make up your mind if it's a Jewish state or a secular state. You alternate both based on
Ethnically
convenience.
Jewish,
In fact, you alternate it within the same
ethnically Jewish.
sentence.
Hang on, ethnic.
Yeah, he thinks it's a secular state of Israel, but that they're going to anoint an Antichrist.
Don't equivocate. This is pure
Are they-
equivocation. Do you agree with me that there's ethnic Jews and then there are religious Jews?
I agree with that.
Then don't equivocate and say, you can't figure out if it's a Jewish state or a secular state, because, Dinesh, it can be a secular Jewish state, can't it?
Israel was
Can it be a secular Jewish state, Dinesh?
Israel
Can
was
it be a secular Jewish state, Dinesh?
Israel.
Can it be a secular Jewish
Yes,
state?
it is.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, but I've never denied it's a secular
You
Jewish
just
state.
got done lecturing me about how I called it a Jewish state, then a secular state.
Right,
Like, that
because
was a
I think
contradiction.
on the one hand, I think you're trying to appeal to anti-Jewish sentiment, and for that,
no,
you need,
anti-Semite.
For that,
One sec, I wanna give
you
the- I
need
wanna
the
give the-
Jewish label.
Anti-Semite.
I wanna
If
give
Israel
Dinesh-
was truly a secular state, a lot of your antagonism would be diminished. I notice, for example, you don't have the same hostility to Great Britain, right? Why not? They're a secular state. But they don't have the Jewish label, so you don't get excited. What I'm getting at here is
Well, hang on. You're saying that
I'm saying that-
can
I'm
you
excited.
explain to me just real quick?
Yeah.
Does England, by chance, is there a possibility that they're going to name Antichrist in my lifetime, Dinesh?
What do you mean by name Antichrist? What are you talking
I'm
about?
not talking about naming the Antichrist.
He thinks that they're going to name an Antichrist in his lifetime? He's ready for the return of Jesus in this lifetime? He's excited for it. They're pro-Antichrist. They need the Antichrist. The Antichrist is inevitable and has to happen.
But if Jews get together inside of Israel and they name a Messiah, is that going to be Jesus Christ?
Israel is not going to get together and name a Messiah.
okay.
What are you talking about?
You're-
What are you talking about? That's all the Jews want to do is anoint a Messiah. You liar.
You're saying
First
that-
of all, you just said 1 minute ago they're a secular
What?
state. Now you go, what if the secular state names a Messiah?
Okay, inside,
make any sense to
inside
you?
of Israel, do you
David
agree?
Sinal sent $20. Don't they want the Antichrist to come?
Mm-hmm.
Even the Orthodox believe the Antichrist needs to come.
Let me clear up this fight they're having about the secular state. You always see these people try to say Israel's not the Israel of the Bible, the secular state of Israel, or it's atheist, or it's the English. It's a way of just like detaching Judaism from the Zionist agenda. I think that's a subversive talking point. You see them say it all the time, the secular state, the Rothschild secular Khazarian state, anything to like say it's not Jewish and it's not just like a Torah issue. That's what they do. But yeah, these guys need the Antichrist, clearly. I'm surprised that Dinesh is like, they don't want to have a Messiah. Like, how could he say something so wrong?
And name a
Yeah,
Messiah.
okay.
What are you talking about?
You're saying
First
that-
of all, you just said 1 minute ago they're a secular
What?
state. Now you go, what if the secular state names a Messiah?
Okay, inside,
make any sense to
inside
you?
of Israel, do
It
you
wouldn't
agree
be the
with
whole.
me?
I mean, if it was really the Messiah, it might be the state, but It could just be a bunch of rabbis or these guys trying to do the Sanhedrin or the Third Temple, or just if enough rabbis and believing Jews say somebody is the Messiah, he's de facto, they think he's the Messiah. That's all it takes. Nothing magic about it.
That you have the Temple Institute and you have many Jewish organizations that are indeed willing and support the naming of a new Messiah.
There we go.
There
You said
are
just what I said.
messianic communities, apocalyptic Jewish messianic communities that believe that the rebuilding of the temple is a prelude to the end times. So what?
And no, that's not what I asked you. I
So
asked you
what?
if it is the case that if the
He's like, so what? We believe in the end times too. So what? We believe Jesus is going to come down from the clouds and defeat the Antichrist too. So what? See, that's the problem. That's the Christian attitude, the so what. Reminds me, I saw a bunch of people, I got TikToks on, bookmarks on TikTok, people, a bunch of viral videos, people talking about some new Noahide law thing. A bunch of Christians are kvetching about. We have to pull that up too, I guess.
right-wing elements inside of Israel, this would be more the right that is doing this than the left-wing elements which are there, which are more secular. If they get together and they do name an antichrist, or I'm sorry, a Messiah, would that Messiah necessarily be Antichrist? Not the Antichrist.
So I'm going to show you this
but
text message thread. Now that
anti-Semitic
Andrew
to
Colbert is out the
Christ,
gate
because it's a false
saying Charlie was
Messiah.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Then we have established that right now. By the way, do you know how big this movement is in Israel? Could you point, for instance, to England and say 30% of the population wants to name a new Messiah? No.
Okay, that's about enough of Wilson so far tonight. We watched him today, too, debating Stu Peters, which he destroyed Stu. Stu is such a bullshit artist. Just deflected, didn't answer any questions, didn't make any good points. Totally wrecked. But we're gonna skip some of this stuff right now. I'm skipping. Okay, here we go. Look at how bad this guy got cooked right here. Uncensored AI. He's part of this whole Charlie Kirk, Stu Peters thing. So, Amazing Polly does. Russia hosts many Chabad Lubavitch centers. There appears to be more than 30 surrounding Moscow alone. Dozens more elsewhere in the country, too. 30 Chabad centers surrounding Moscow. And this is so funny. That's her response to Uncensored AI. Says, Russia doesn't play that shit. The map of Chabad Lubavitch outposts is enlightening. All over Europe. Wow. It's a lot. Australia, Thailand, all over Africa, all over South America. They are total international. And then Uncensored AI says Russia doesn't play that shit. Wrong. Does he not see the clips of the rabbis talking about how much influence Chabad has in Russia? And Putin's rabbi? So talk about wrecked. 30 surrounding in Moscow alone. Sorry to burst your Putin's taken down the Khazarian mafia bubble. Wrecked. I need to talk to Sneako. Stat. Look at this title. Sneako calls Christianity the biggest Jewish psyop of all time. Now we're talking. Let's go, Sneako. Biggest Jewish psyop of all time. He doesn't get it quite right, but I like to see a headline like this. His has the Muslim spin on it, that Jesus was really real and based, and Paul just messed it up. But
if you want to know one of the biggest Jewish psyops of all time, no disrespect, it's Christianity. I'm not even trying to be disrespectful to you. Jesus did prophesize that there.
Sorry, dude. Islam is just as much as a psyop as Christianity is. But you're right. It is. You're both. I love it. Like, Sneako's calling Christianity Jewish. The Christians and Catholics are calling Islam Judaism for brown people. They're all right. They're kind of like ripping each other up, and a lot of them are making valid points against one another. Actually.
Would be a fake.
Yeah, Uncensored AI said J-Proof was a good
Valhalla
investment for Stu
$10
Peters.
on Rumble. It's Thursday on the East Coast. Thanks for the late night stream.
Thank you, Valhalla or Bust. Happy you guys are here late night.
Fake prophet from the desert. This is Paul. Paul the apostle was persecuting early Christians, and then on the road to Damascus, he said suddenly, he never met Jesus. He's walking, this random guy who's not a prophet, didn't meet Jesus, and it was killing early followers of Jesus. He hears a sound and sees a light, and suddenly he's like, oh, now I like Jesus. This guy ends up becoming the #1 contributor to the New Testament. He writes the majority.
It wasn't now I like Jesus. It was I have found Jesus. And the light thing isn't even described by Paul. Something just crashed. It might have been the cat messing with something. So Paul, the road to Damascus, having the vision of the light, that's in Acts. That's not actually written by Paul. That's way later after Paul died. Paul's description of his revelations of Christ is being caught up into the third heaven of paradise. So mystical ascension type of visions and dreams from him reading midrashically the prophecies. Sneako. If Sneako ever watches this, and everybody else watching.
To the New Testament. He writes the majority of books in the Bible.
And
Paul,
the earliest
this
books.
guy who murdered early followers of Jesus. He
Doesn't actually say murdered. It says persecuted, I believe, not murdered.
was the one who said that Jesus saves. He was the one that says that worship Jesus. Jesus did not say worship me. Paul pushed this idea. So if you want to talk about Jewish psyop, Jewish propaganda, Paul was Jewish.
There was no like real Jesus that just didn't say worship him and Paul corrupted it. Paul and the first apostles invented Jesus, and then their stories were built upon in the Gospels where Jesus's Christology became more with God. He's the Son of God. He's the Logos of God. He's the intermediary. He's the Melchizedek. He's the pre-existent angel. He's the Son of Man on the throne. It's how it always was. Not like Jesus was just a regular dude and then right away they started calling him God, and that's wrong. He's just got a non-Trinitarian view of Jesus and a weird replacement on the cross theory.
Early people were trying to subvert this religion, take the teachings of Jesus, and then give it to white people so the Jews can control Europe and the Roman Empire, and then look where we are today.
Dude, he's cooking right now. He's cooking with that part right there. They took this Jewish religion. They didn't subvert the religion, though. They just, the religion it was the subversion. They took this religion. They invented Jesus. They took it to the Gentiles. They sold them on it. And look at a conquered Rome, and look at where we're at today with the Christians supporting Jews in Israel all around the world. Sneako. Wow. Sneako. I've talked a lot of trash about Sneako. I've got tons of issues with Sneako, but right here is getting so close.
Give it to white people so the Jews can control Europe and the Roman Empire, and then look where we are today. Look at all the NATO countries. Look at the U.S. Who do they serve? The Jews. England sold the land to the Rothschilds after World War I. America right now, intrinsically tied to Israel. America is just an Israeli colony currently. It shouldn't be this way. But this is what the Jews did. They saw the teachings of a good man who said to worship God, and they manipulated it and created a religion that ends up funneling and serving them.
A religion that ends up funneling and serving them. Dude, he's so close. This is the most amazing thing Sneako has ever said in his whole life right now. The most important thing words that have ever came out of his mouth right now.
We hear from Ted Cruz and Mike Huckabee now. They manipulated it and created
They didn't manipulate it. It was invented for this. At least very early on, before Paul even.
Religion that ends up funneling and serving them. What do we hear from Ted Cruz and Mike Huckabee now? God must bless those that bless the state of Israel. Even Christians, a lot of them have this inferiority complex because they believe the Pharisees and the Jews killed Jesus, but they still have the Old Testament as half of their Bible. It's backwards. And they worship this they exalt the weakness of God who's bloodied up, sitting on a stick, and he's...
Yeah, they worship a weak a weak, martyred, meek, and mild God. A Jew that wins by getting killed by the Jews.
There with thorns and he's bloody and nails in his hands. Why do they exalt the weakest part of a man's life? Worship God. If you want to follow Jesus and be Christ-like, listen to what Jesus said. Don't follow Paul, follow Jesus. Be Christ-like. Don't be like...
Dude, there is no following Jesus. Jesus didn't write anything down. The earliest books of Christianity and the earliest descriptions of Jesus come from Paul's letters and the epistles and Hebrews, where there's no historical Jesus. There's no Muslim historical Jesus. The earliest conceptions of Jesus are in Paul's letters, where he's like not describing biographical details of an earthly preacher.
Sam Frank is like a Swiftie at a concert. This is what they're doing now, the evangelicals. And ask them what they think about Jews. You see what 6ix9ine, his mom, was saying about Jews? They worship.
I've said the same things. What is it? Tech 6ix9ine, the rapper guy that's been in jail. His mom is a Christian and just like a super Jew lover. She just like worships Jews because she's some Christian.
Jews. They believe that Jews are the chosen. They see themselves as subservient to Jews.
Dude, you think Jews were chosen too, dude?
Stadium like this. Ah, la, 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 la,
they had the Torah.
Jesus didn't pray like that, bro. He prayed like this.
You got to get down on your knees.
Like this, head to the floor. Simple. Not in a concert venue. And I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. I think Pope Leo is saying good things, and I think most Christians are good people. But this religion it was completely subverted and just used for the Jewish empire. And when Jesus descends, do you know what he's going to do? He's going to...
Islam is almost like a subversion of Christianity and Judaism also. Like you're a subversion too, and you're just as much deceived by Jesus as the Christians are. Islam has ended up serving Judaism in some different ways, but ultimately in some same ways as Christianity. So, but I don't think Sneako's ready for that conversation. He can dish it, but can he take it?
Break the cross. He's going to be like, okay, astaghfirullah, I'm not trying to like paraphrase for him, but the prophecy is he will descend and he'll say, worship God, and he'll pray with the Muslims. And you even know, like in the book I'm reading, you know why he ascended? Jesus made dua and he asked Allah, I want to be with the Muslims, because he prophesied that there would be the final prophet, Muhammad, peace be upon him. He knew that was going to happen. Ahmed, he called him. And he wanted to be with the Ummah because he wasn't able to convince the people. He wasn't able to get the job done at the time when he was...
All right. That's enough. That's all right. Let's not kill the vibe. Sneako calls out Nick Fuentes. Sneako keeps saying it every day. I don't know. I might start believing him that Nick really did tell him that he's a Sephardic Jew. Sneako is starting to convince me a little bit. There might be something to this.
Sneako is single-handedly making...
How funny will that be if Fuentes, who's calling me a Jew before, turns out to be Sephardic Jewish? Like many have long accused and speculated. Could you imagine if that really was true?
Sneako is single-handedly making everyone hate Muslims again. His current arc is doing more damage to their reputation in America than 9/11. I almost feel bad for the other Muslims. This is what they're trying to do. Instead of taking any sort of responsibility for their rhetoric or their words...
Thank you. Watch the collapse.
Podcast sent $5 on Rumble.
Yeah.
If he can figure out the Jesus deception, his Islam grift collapses. Sneako is hate watching. He is such a grifting brown clown. He sees us Christians in the comments and takes the talking points.
Maybe, yeah. He's using our arguments against the Christians, but giving his Muslim spin, his Muslim controlled op spin on it. You're probably right.
They're like, oh my God, it's his fault. Let's go see what Pablo Fuente's saying.
Avocados from Mexico.
Let's go see. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Seething about me. Selling a shirt with my name on it. I'm making him hate Muslims. Someone linked me the clip where he's talking about the prophet yesterday. What's this little Mexican manlet midget Sephardic lying Jew saying?
Also have the...
You know how he hasn't even addressed the allegations? I told you, he told me in confidence, and I told you, if I'm lying, I will delete my stream. I will never stream again. If Pablo Fuente could swear on the Bible or the Torah, we're not even sure anymore, and say that he didn't actually tell me that he's Sephardic Jew. Sneako is single-handedly making everyone hate Muslims again. His
Henrik's meme. Dude, did somebody use AI to try to match it to Sneako, or is that just really like a meme? He's becoming the meme. He's retweeted See-Through It All here, too. Muslims think it's evil for white people to preserve themselves as a people group.
That's skin worship. That's if your number one. That's skin worship. That's if your number one priority is something. By extension, you end up worshiping it.
Yeah, I mean the idea of
we do know for sure Nick undoubtedly is spiritually Jewish. May or may not be actually Sephardic Jewish, but definitely spiritually Jewish.
We worship Allah. It's part of it is ritualistic, like that's what people understand worship primarily to be, like you go pray or you do a ritual, but you also take God or Islam as your standard for understanding the world, like your standard for understanding the world, your standard for how to behave, what you consider right and wrong, like that's what determines your behavior, like the choices that you make according to that supreme value. And putting an identity or putting like a nationality in that position, on that pedestal, it's not, fine, okay, we don't have to take a strong stance, say that is exactly like religion, or that's exactly like worship. You don't have to defend like a very strong position like that. You can say that this is very much like religion. This is very much like worship. This is very similar. It shares a core component, and it's not justified. Like it's not rational to think that your skin color has this kind of importance or should be the determinant or the determiner of how you live and how you understand the world. Like that seems so obviously not like subjective. It seems so obviously not universal or not objective or not like significant or important enough to dedicate your life to. Like if I'm gonna dedicate myself, that's why I worship God. That's why I worship Allah, because He's the creator. Like He created everything. He's the all-powerful. He's the all-knowing. Like if I'm not alive, He still exists. If I never were alive, like if I weren't
Once you get into the part about white people being bad,
like that's the paradigm. Like how does it make sense to think that your skin color and the happenstance of where you were born, like what ethnicity you are, like that's the grounding of your entire understanding of the world and your morality and how you deal with others? Like that's so stupid. Like it's retarded.
It's stupid for white people wanting to preserve European culture and lands. Professor Dave, Christians, demons. Oh yeah, I wanted to watch this. Liberal goes back in time to kill Hitler. BBC. Aryan Jewish girl. Stu Peters. Let's watch this. We got to watch that new Babylon Bee documentary too that had the thumbnail of the Colosseum being destroyed. What, like not happening this time or something it was called? Let's see this.
So good. So good.
I'm a time traveler from the year 2025, and I've come here to kill you, Hitler.
Oh, not again. I'm never gonna have enough time to finish these paintings with all of these time travelers trying to kill me.
Well, I'm going to succeed.
Before you pull the trigger, can I just ask why? Why do all of you people want to kill me?
Isn't it obvious? I'm a progressive, a liberal, a fighter for social justice. And you are a fascist who implemented a reign of terror. And while the effects of your policies devastated the world for decades, soon we will be able to take back the White House, and we will be able to use the government to force people to follow our great ideas.
You want to use government power to force your ideas on the populace. Me too! That's fantastic.
What? No. Ugh. You and I have nothing in common. What I'm saying is there are people in our time with dangerous ideas, and we need to silence
So the bit is the left, they're Nazis.
them.
Silencing those who disagree with you. I do that too. Oh, wunderbar. Oh, the Nazi movement will not die with me.
Don't give me that. I'm enlightened, and you're as bad as...
Valhalla or bust. The link you shared is from a total lying schizo kook, so I'm pretty sure whatever that is probably a lie or out of context.
Well, it's Hitler. Listen, what I'm trying to say is we are very close to implementing a utopia as long as we can get rid of some certain
Yeah, the populace actually agreed with Hitler, so bad point.
undesirable people groups.
Yes, like the Jews.
Yes, like the Jews. Oh.
So in the future, you also do not like the Jews?
Well, no. But we don't believe in segregating all the races like you do. I mean, except for like graduation ceremonies. And dorms. And hiring practices. Oh, and admissions
Dude,
policies.
I remember the 4-year school I went to where I graduated. I didn't go to my graduation, but I heard they had separate ones. They had like the black kids graduation, and I heard it. I lived somewhere somewhat near the school, and so I could hear it, and they were wiling out. It was like I wish I could have been there just to see it, because it was like a carnival ship graduation, and I could just hear it, and they were going crazy.
I too am a fan of the segregation. I'm sorry, I have to ask, is this a real firearm or is this some kind of toy for kids?
It's a flare gun. I'm trying not to support America's toxic gun culture. I'm a firm believer in gun control.
Gun control! This was one of my ideas too. Ban them from the undesirables. Yes, look here. Oh, and your shirt. This is an organization founded by Margaret Sanger. Yes?
Wait, you know about Margaret Sanger?
Jawohl, of course. Oh.
Yeah, Valhalla, he's tongue-in-cheek? Probably. You're telling me it's been this big secret and he just admitted it one time? I don't think so.
She's such a lovely person.
No. She's a fighter for reproductive rights, for women's empowerment,
and the eradication of undesirable populations by means of eugenics. Brilliant lady, very inspiring. I must use some of her ideas in our socialized healthcare system.
Socialized
Are we
healthcare?
doing Margaret Sanger stuff?
That's not your thing. That's our thing.
No, it's very much my thing. Did you know that Nazi means National Socialist German Workers' Party?
Yeah,
Nazi
Chad is
just,
right. This probably goes real
Nazi,
hard if you're like a MAGA boomer Fox News watcher or something.
Nazi. Just rolls off the tongue.
No. This can't be true. This has to be some sort of mistake. We are nothing alike. You're Adolf Hitler, evil right-wing fascist dictator, and I'm a feminist restorative justice advocate. And a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian?
Me too! Okay, I am so confused
That's
right now.
funny.
I came here with a clear goal in mind to kill the most evil man to have ever lived. Besides Ronald Reagan. But now that I'm meeting you in person, you're not at all what I thought you were. And your
If you're a
painting
Tim
is
Pool fan,
actually really good. What do you call it?
I call it Ein Reich ohne Juden.
Wow. I don't know what that means, but it sounds beautiful.
It does, doesn't it?
more of the narrative of Nazi America, though. That's what this is. So now the left are all Nazis. The left calls the right Nazis, the right calls the left Nazis, and then the Jews say we're in 1930s America and anti-Semitism and horseshoe theory and all that stuff. Ultimately, that's what it is. Netanyahu just said it in his, I played the clip earlier today. He says, what is this, Mamdami? What is this, 1930s Germany? The left are the real racists. It could happen again. Okay. Here was this one too. Let's see through it all. Taking credit for what white people built is white supremacy. Let's see.
You know what? You love Islam so much. Go move to Cairo. Go move to Cairo. Go move to Riyadh. Go move to Baghdad or something. Oh, you don't want to live there. I wonder why. Why don't you want to go and live there? Because it's a hole? They go, oh, Western values are so corrupt and so sick. That's why y'all live in London and New York.
Yeah, the evil satanic West. And then they want to come to all of our nations and never leave.
Right?
Yeah, so it's Christianity that made London and New York prosperous. It's Christianity, right?
No.
It's like being a traditional based Catholic, subservient to the church, going to mass, the Latin mass. Like that's what makes New York City so prosperous, right? You see all the Catholicism, all the Christianity. It's so apparent. Like when you go to New York City or you go to London. Like, okay, fine, not today, but go 100 years ago. It was Christianity that made it prosperous, right? Or was it secularization? Was it industrialization? Was it capitalism?
Yeah.
Tell me the reality. What is the source of the prosperity? Because the reality is the more secular country becomes, the more prosperous it becomes. And even amongst Christians. Compare the third world Christian countries with the third world Muslim countries.
Yeah, it's not about being Christian. It's about being European. Exactly. This guy's proven my point. They're both kind of cooking so far.
Christianity has...
See what I'm saying? So much of the Abrahamic infighting that we see, I'm just sitting back like watching the popcorn like they're like landing shots on each other because they both have issues.
Hasn't brought any kind of prosperity to those third world Christian countries. Look at South America. Look at some of these African countries that have been converted to Christianity. Where's the prosperity, brah? Where's the prosperity that Christianity brings? So if you want to say it's white, oh, it's white. No, the West is superior because of its whiteness. We're white. Okay, then don't LARP as a Christian then. You're a white supremacist. Okay, white supremacy is the idea that that white people are superior in their intelligence.
Well, the dominant religion amongst white people has been Christianity.
They're superior in their civilization, and they're capable to create these.
It's not
thriving,
because of Christianity, but
cities and nations because of their white genius. Okay, you want to be a white supremacist? Don't say that you're Christian. That's a heresy within Christianity.
True.
Pick a lane. Pick a lane.
I agree. Pick a lane. Pick a lane. And it ain't worshiping the King of the Jews lane. I didn't really get that. Taking credit for what white people built is white supremacy. I didn't see that. Maybe did I skip some or something? I missed it. Okay. Christians giving Sneakos easy W's.
Okay, where's Christianity from?
I'm gonna grab a drink.
Well, okay, so it was from
Jesus?
Judea, obviously, Judea.
Oh,
and
Palestine. Is that the third world?
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course.
Oh, so it sounds like you have a third world religion.
Well, it is Israel. Israel, I don't like Israel.
Well, it wasn't called the State of Israel in 1948.
Wait,
Jesus is from Palestine.
Let me answer the question. Hold on a second.
You have a third world religion.
No, it wasn't the third world at that point because it was under Roman rule, so it was the first world.
It wasn't a Roman rule, but they persecuted him and they called for his execution, right?
No.
So he did not follow under Roman.
No, you got the Romans wrong. The Pharisees coerced the Romans to crucify.
And the Romans, they followed through with it. They listened.
Right, but you have to understand the Roman governor of Judea at that time was in a predicament. So if he hadn't crucified Christ, the Jews would have caused a rebellion, and they were threatening to.
I know, and the Romans folded to the Jews. The Romans folded to the Jews.
Yeah, the governor did.
Yeah, they did. So the Romans, they followed through. They called for his execution. They wanted to persecute him.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, if you're an ethno-nationalist, why do you worship a brown Jew from Palestine?
because he's God. It's
Okay,
not-
so you're an ethno-nationalist, but you follow and worship a brown Jew from Palestine?
Let me explain this. So the reason Christ had to be incarnate in Jerusalem was because in the Old Testament and in Judaism at that point, the Jews were the chosen people. I'll give you an example. Why would he be incarnated as a Germanic from like the Germanic tribes that the Romans were fighting?
He wouldn't.
Just to venture all the way down to tell the Jews that they aren't doing good. They wouldn't listen to him.
Okay.
They would rather they would have
Right, so you believe God is a brown Jew from Palestine?
Huh?
So you worship a brown Jew from Palestine?
Of course.
So that's who is so
Yeah,
your
but this is-
supremacy
but
or
this is
nationalism
the
falls
difference.
apart.
He's
God
not-
is a brown guy. If
he's
God
not
is a brown
human.
guy, then why
Hold on.
can't
He's
from
not
the
a
third
human,
world?
though.
Then
He's not-
let third worlders in.
But he's not entirely human. He's 100%.
You see, it makes our side so susceptible and hands them easy W's, and it's just indefensible. Why do Christians insist on having to defend this stuff?
God and 100%.
He's not. So he's
God
partially.
and
He's
man.
partially
God
human.
incarnate.
He's partially human.
Yeah. Well, okay.
What percent human is he?
Orthodox Christian like Jay is.
What percent human is he?
He's 100% man.
So he's 100. So no, you just said partially. Now 100%.
Dude, I can't take you seriously if you say he's 100% man, 100% God. That's not how percentages work. All right. Do Christians, they think that sounds like so hard. You have to be like a smooth brain, damaged frontal cortex Christian to hear he's 100% man and 100% God and think like, yeah, that checks out. Not see the inherent issue with that. Do you hear yourself?
It's not partial. That's complete.
No, you have to understand something. He's 100% man and 100%
So
God.
so it's not partial. 100% is not impartial.
No.
3 is 1 and 1 is 3, and he's 100% of this and 100% of that. I mean, it just violates math. That's all.
What percent human is he?
He's 100% man.
So he's 100. So no, you just said partially. Now 100% is not partial. That's complete.
No, you have to understand something. He's 100% man and 100%
So
God.
so it's not partial. 100% is not impartial.
No, you're
100%
reading
complete.
this the wrong way. He's
You're
God
reading it the
and man.
wrong
I'll
way.
just
You
say
have
he's
to
God
just-
and man at the same time.
So
He's God
but he's
incarnate.
100% human. You just said that.
Yeah, okay, then you should say he's 50% man, half mother, half God, 50-50. That's what you should say. That'd be an at least like mathematical defensible point. But they go over the top. They go 100% and 100%.
No, he's also 100% God.
But he's 100%
right?
man too.
Yes.
Okay, so you worship
he's
a brown
God
Jew.
and man.
Right. So he's completely brown Jew from Palestine. 100%.
Yeah, but
he's God and man. So you're worshiping a Jew as God. Yeah. It's not any better. Well, it's Jesus, it's God. So God could be 200% if he wanted to. That's also what it comes down
Remit,
to.
the point is that I'm trying to push to make you understand is it doesn't matter if he's brown incarnate. He could have been incarnate as
It's like it reminds me of like a trans person going, I'm 100% man and 100% female. I'm 100% man and 100% woman, all right? You don't get it. That's what it sounds like to me. Is that not the same perfect analogy?
I know. I don't think it matters either. You're the one who said you're an
hold on,
ethno-nationalist. I'm not an ethno-nationalist. You are.
Brother, you're not letting me talk. You gotta let me finish. I'm saying he's not. Why would he? Like, I'm basically trying to give you an example. Why would he be incarnate as a Roman?
Christians, you're getting mocked by Sneako. Oh, by the way, Sneako retweeted this. See through it all. Unfortunately, we are getting embarrassed by brown clowns thanks to Christianity. And Sneako retweeted this. That's what See Through It All showed us. How funny is that? Sneako shared this, See Through It All calling him a brown clown. Hilarious.
Okay, where's Christianity?
Of their own.
Yeah, they should have.
Makes
And he
sense.
said to follow God. Yeah, they should have listened.
Yes.
Okay, so you
There you
worship a
go.
brown Jew from Palestine who's 100% man and 100% God. So he's 200%.
But that is that. But even then,
200%.
even if I see, I worship a brown Jew from Palestine. This doesn't. Well, a Jew, but this doesn't even. This doesn't negate. This isn't a counter argument against my ethno-nationalism. It's not.
Yeah, but Jesus never said you worship a brown Jew from Palestine. Nowhere in the Bible and nowhere in the gospel did he say ethno-nationalism for white people. You just made this up.
Right, but here's my question. Even though I worship God, when he was incarnate as a brown Jew, whatever you want to attribute to him, whatever his skin, nobody really knows his skin color. I mean, like he was
brown
sort of,
olive skin.
Yeah, it's fair skin, but like olive tan because he was around the
brown
Eastern
olive skin.
Oh, dude. I'm looking. I don't see where Sneako retweeted this. Did he unretweet it, maybe?
Understandable. Yeah. But it has nothing to do with my ethno-nationalism for my country.
Right. Shouldn't all your belief system should come from God, right? Well, you just made up. You kind of just adapted that.
Well, God also says to fight off invaders.
Okay.
And to protect your own people.
Right. But then we brought in mass waves of immigrants. By that logic, the Native Americans should kick you out. You're an invader. So you're an invader from Europe, right?
I haven't eaten since I've only eaten once today early on. I'm so hungry. After this, I'm going to go get some In-N-Out. I'm going late night burger In-N-Out drive-through.
Hey, your bloodline is not native to this land. The invaders are you. The Native Americans runs with the river.
Right,
people in teepee should kick you out. You're invading. Get out of the Native American land.
They always go right for it. Do the Jews go right for, are you a Christian? And try to oppose you on that level. And then the Muslims do the same thing. Hank says no cheese. No, dude, it always cheese. I've never had a burger, just a hamburger with no cheese. Not once in my life have I ever foregone the cheese. I would never. As if it's as observing a law of Odin, I will never eat meat without cheese. Flying Dutchman, Valhalla. I just got one of those for the first time. I'm getting another one of those tonight too. All protein, Flying Dutchman. A milkshake? I usually don't get the milkshake. Extra calories and dessert and stuff, but maybe for tonight. Yeah, I'm doing double cheese just for you tonight, Hank, actually. What are you sad about? I'm a goyim. I'm allowed to eat it. You can't. That's your problem. Yeah, it's an Aryan thing, Hank. You wouldn't know anything about it. Okay, this kid that got in trouble a month or so ago, in some job interview or something, he said he doesn't want to work for a Jew, so he's on Piers Morgan. Let's see how this trailer goes.
I've had enough experiences that were displeasing that I didn't want to be around them. It's just a preference, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you had a problem with Asian people or midgets, right? Like, let's say you're around 10 midgets, right? And all of them are really mean to you. They step on your feet, right? You're going to say, okay, I don't want to be around you anymore. And if your boss is somehow a midget, you're going to say, listen, I don't want to work for you because you're a midget. It might not be a nice thing to say, but is it really worth losing our marbles over this, like the Jewish community did within America? Saying we're going to make this kid unemployable. Let's ruin his life. Let's kick him out of Cornell. I mean, it's really ridiculous.
Actually, if you don't mind me saying, what you've just said is more ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, what on earth has this got to do with, as you put it, midgets? Yeah. I just find it incredibly depressing.
They would think that's bad if you said, I don't want to work for a midget also. He's like, well, you wouldn't want to work for midgets. No, Pierce would never say he doesn't want to work for anybody on how, by their blood or how they were born. So bad argument. Dude, you got invited on Piers Morgan and you went with a midget analogy?
Young man, given the privilege that you've had to go to a top university, could be this thick, or worse, not care about what you're saying and the consequences to a huge number of people around the world who see a young, arrogant kid who wants to brazenly espouse anti-Semitism in interviews like this. And shame on you, and shame on everyone that has made you like this. And you know what? I was prepared to give you a bit of a fairer hearing about the people calling for you to be cancelled and unemployable and so on. You kind of make yourself unemployable.
I'd like to explain myself, but you keep cutting me off.
I wouldn't. Had you said I'm sorry,
I'm not asking you to.
Him saying that, it's like he knew what this would do. He knew what he was doing. He was trying to be extra edgy. He was trying to be a victim and have a news story.
Just any remorse, had you done any of those things, I'd say, yeah.
You go to school, he goes to some nice, expensive school. Could you imagine his parents? Like, oh, you decided to ruin your life to, like, say something edgy when you're 18?
You know what? You've been dealt a harsh lesson in life.
Maybe
You've
the
learned your
midgets will
lesson, move
employ
on.
him.
You haven't learned your lesson, Austin. You've doubled down. You're proud of it. And so for that
Pierce,
reason, I don't give
you
a
haven't
toss what
let me
happens to you,
explain
frankly.
myself
So
at
we're
all.
going to, I don't care. You've explained yourself. You're an anti.
Come on, Pierce. Let him explain why he doesn't want to work for a Jew. Come on.
Anti-Semite, and you're a hypocrite.
No,
and you know
no,
what?
Pierce.
Future employers can watch this interview and they can decide if you have the values that they wish to have in their company. Good luck with that. Good luck with it.
Wow. Mogged. Total W, right, guys? Well, that worked out great. What a hero. Sure, he's got a bright future ahead of him. Cornell has a lot of Jews. He probably has fatigue. I mean, I guess he wanted to make himself unemployable forever. He thought that that was going to be a good move, good career move to say, if you don't want to work for a Jew, you just don't apply at a Jewish company, or you don't, you just work somewhere else. You just don't go, or you don't sign up. Saying it though and trying to make a big thing out of it. Pretty dumb. Not the smartest. Okay. Last one. Yeah.
I just want to be clear. You really think this Son of God bleeding on the cross, that this is a faithful continuation of the religion of Moses?
All of the religion of Moses is about the Son of God.
Bleeding on the cross?
Absolutely.
Okay.
For
So
example,
this is
for example, the Passover. In the Passover story, the Jews take an undefiled, perfect lamb.
Is
None
the
of his bones are
retelling
broken.
of the Passover lamb
They
and the Yom Kippur
sacrifice
goats.
that, and they eat that in a family covenantal meal. For us, Jesus, according to the Gospel of John, very clearly is that Passover. His death happens at
Jesus, so base, dude. Jesus is my Passover lamb. Imagine thinking that Passover and Exodus actually really happened too. Affirming that story of the Jews is just like giving them their whole fake origin story. Instead of calling out that it's made up and ahistorical, you go, no, it's real, and Christ is the culmination of the blood of the Lamb.
at Passover. And just like the feast of the Passover is succeeded by the feast of Pentecost, which is the ingathering or the Feast of Weeks, so likewise, Jesus sends the Holy Spirit at the Feast of Pentecost in the book of Acts, exactly as the Jewish feasts line up. So I'm saying even the Jewish feasts themselves, the Jewish liturgical cycle, points to the very things that we're talking about.
Okay, so
I write in my book, I don't get deep into it, but I think I cite Carrier about how Paul was doing in Paul's revelation of the Lord's Supper, he was actually doing some elaborate midrash on the Exodus story. That's where he derived the Lord's Supper from, the Last Supper. He calls it Lord's Supper. Hank says it definitely happened. Your great-great-grandpappy was there. No, just one of your great-great-grandpappies at one point was given the Torah and said, this was your ancestors. Your pappy got duped too. Hey, Hank, my pappy told me that 500 witnesses saw Jesus resurrect from the dead, so maybe you should be a Christian. My pappy told me.
So engorging yourself on human flesh and blood is a feature of the Old Testament religion.
We are not cannibals, so we're not eating a dead dude. We are eating the deified flesh
Even memorially.
of the God-man.
Dude, come on. You're not cannibals. You're drinking the blood and eating the flesh of your God symbolically, but it's only symbolic cannibalism. It's not cannibalism when it's Jewish magic blood.
the deified flesh
Even
of the
memorially.
God-man.
I don't know. Is it
The
literal to
God-man.
you? Is it memorial to you?
It's a real presence.
Okay. That's
It's not real. It's still grape juice, but it has a real presence. See, when the guy in the robe says the magic words, then it has the presence of it. Dude, these guys.
in the Old Testament religion a real presence of a man being engorged, his
No,
flesh
the
and his
Old
blood?
Testament is a type. So the sacraments of the Old Testament are foreshadowing. They do not contain the grace that the New Testament sacraments possess. So, for example, in the Old Testament, when you mentioned going to a priest, what you would do, depending upon the type of sacrifice in the book of Leviticus, is if you had committed this or this sin, you would bring a certain animal to be sacrificed. It would be cooked, and you would sometimes share the meal with the priest. So all of those things, this is why we believe Jesus is doing in the upper room the Lord's Supper. It's the Passover for us. It's the true Passover. If you read, I know you don't agree with it, but I'm just saying, if you read the book of Hebrews, the entirety of Paul's epistle, we think it's Paul's epistle, but
So Jesus is the fulfillment of the two main rituals in Judaism, the two temple rituals, the Passover ritual and the Passover lamb and the Yom Kippur goats. So that was the rituals of sin, the Day of Atonement. For sin, there's the Yom Kippur goats, and then death. So Jesus conquered sin and death by symbolically fulfilling these ancient Jewish traditions. And he didn't exist and really do it, but that's how they conceived of him. That's how he was invented, midrashically, from those things, replacing that the temple was destroyed.
tradition. The book of Hebrews is about this whole point, how all of the priesthood, whether it's the Levitical priest, the Melchizedekian priesthood, the animal sacrifices, the Levitical washings.
I heard someone from a Catholic radio show say that Catholics believe that they are gnawing on Jesus' flesh. Have you heard that before?
Them saying gnawing on Jesus' flesh? No. But I got another video to edit when I did Man on the Streets, talking about the Candace, Charlie Kirk stuff. I talked to some girls a little longer about some Christian things. I got to edit it and post it. I will very soon. And they were like, yeah, we're Catholic, and the blood really turned, the juice really turns into blood. It really does. She's like, they scientifically test it, and it's really blood. I'm like, no way. You really think that? You really think they scientifically test it? And the grape juice, it still tastes like grape juice, but you think that scientifically can be proven to be blood. And she said, yeah. I got to get that out. Yeah, Jesus jerky. There's a business idea. Gnawing on Aryan Jesus.
Circumcision. In our religion, we believe that, for example, circumcision is a type of baptism. And it makes sense for us that if Jesus is going to open the covenant up to the Gentiles, and if women and men will be baptized to be converted, this is a type of a Levitical washing that is the fulfillment of all the Old Testament Levitical washings. So
how is baptism circumcision? Your circumcision is your circumcised heart, your circumcised brain. Baptism is just like Dead Sea Scroll purification bathing, ritual bathing.
Again, every one of the things that we refer to in terms of the Mosaic ceremonies, whether it's the washings or whether it's the temple.
He's about to do another debate. They have all of these Abrahamic echo chamber debates over and over again. Christian versus Christian, Protestant versus Catholic, Orthodox versus Catholic, Muslim versus Christian, Muslim versus all the different denominations. Dyer's new debate is going to be with another Christian arguing over icon veneration. Who cares? Like, this is what we're focusing on? These inner Christian debates are just like mental masturbation, waste of time. Icon veneration. That's what they're debating.
All of those things are explained many, many, many times over in the New Testament to be pointing to the work of Christ on the cross, not just the death, but also the resurrection to bring an end to death. That was the point of the death, burial, and resurrection, was to give the church.
Yeah, Jesus ended death, except everybody still dies. He defeated Satan, except Satan still runs the world. He defeated death. Jesus came and defeated death. but we all still die. But then when we die, we get to live on in death forever, worshiping the King of the Jews.
And his people
Don't ask me
power
questions.
over death for the resurrection.
Okay, I want to know, it kind of brings it back to the beginning. At what point does a religious framework stop being a continuation and start being a usurpation of the message?
I think if you were to look at examples of, Islam is a great example because it's a copy and paste of Christianity that came before it.
Yeah. Owned.
Look at examples of, Islam.
And the Jews would say the same thing about you, Jay. Judaism came before it, and you guys would lie and cope and say they were Christians. All right, Alex Jones has really jumped in strong on the Charlie Kirk theories. Pushing it hard now. The whole Russia sphere, pro-Russia sphere. Pushing it hard. Bombshell, raw and unedited Charlie Kirk video leaks to Candace Owens. Destroying the official story. Bullshit. Nothing's been destroyed at all. It's such a stupid thing. Alex Jones reviews. The individual does not look like Tyler Robinson. You can't tell what the guy looks like. It's dark and grainy. The person in the footage has no limp. That's because he already took the gun out of his pants and assembled it before the clip that Candace showed. He was carrying the gun. The rifle is never pulled from his pants. He was holding it, just far away. You can't see it. Nowhere do we see the shooter assembling the gun on the roof, as we were told. She doesn't show that part of the clip. It's only afterwards when he's running up right to the spot. He was on the roof for like 7 minutes before where it starts the clip that Candace shows. No recoil is seen. I mean, do you expect to see recoil from something this far away? A little bit, like the frames per second, super zoomed in from far away. You think he's laying down in the prone position? It's not going to have much recoil, and you think you're going to be able to see that from so far away? Like, what kind of bars are you trying to set here? He performs military maneuvers with precision and signals before opening fire. Just, where do I even start? Frickin' Jones. So full of it. Look, another post too, 5 hours ago. I don't believe this is Tyler. It's impossible that little Tyler Robinson is out there to defend his trans furry lover, Lance Twiggs. This sounds sarcastic. I think he was drugged, co-opted, and used like a patsy. Rex Jones, this is what Alex Jones' son is saying? Okay, there's that post, and then there's another one. They bring on Lionel, the Russia shill. Believe me, you want to watch this. So they had on this kook, Candace coattail rider, Candace Glazer, Lionel William LeBron served as a regular political and legal analyst for the Russian state-controlled television network, RT. He has his own special page at RT International. That's how much of a Russia agent he is, literally paid by Russia. So, of course, they bring him on. Of course, he's pushing it. Candace was just over in Russia. Alex Jones has been shilling Dugan talking points and platforming all these Russia shills for a decade. Harrison boosting it too. He says, never laughed so much during this interview. Dude, this Lionel guy is a total moron. Emmy award-winning radio personality. All right.
I don't believe that this is Tyler Robinson. My love, they're canvassing the area now. I got to find the rifle and retrieve it. I mean, like...
This is Alex Jones' son. Why is it not what is your proof that it's not Tyler? They got him right before on the security camera with the gun in his pants, limping up the stairs. They got his car driving in. They got his DNA all over the place. They got his confession note. The parents turned him in. He confessed to the boyfriend. What makes you think, how is this not reasonable to say this is Tyler? Jones's son.
I don't believe that this is Tyler Robinson. My love, they're canvassing the area now. I gotta find the rifle and retrieve it. I mean, like the AI police fake transcripts. Can we get those up as well? The fake chat. This is a guy.
I mean, there's photos of the chat. They interviewed Lance Twiggs. He showed him the phone. They took photos of the text messages. They extracted all the data from the phone, and they got him that in that way too. The defense didn't say these are fabricated, he didn't do it, and these are fake text messages. What are we doing here? These guys are absolute clowns. Did they not learn their lesson on Sandy Hook? I hope they get sued into bankruptcy again and lose their other new Alex Jones Live. That's what they deserve.
Going from that side crawl position, whatever it's called, to the military prone style position that you're going to see here where he swings his legs out back and to his left and he kind of bends the other one. And
military prone style. Dude.
I've only lied down shooting, a couple dozen times. I've definitely had like Army buddies and Marine buddies show me how to do it. And you're watching someone here that's done it a lot of times, has practiced a lot. Because, I'm relatively athletic and in decent shape, and I can move around and I can get up off the ground really quick. But, it's like shrimping in a jiu-jitsu class. It is a bit difficult to move around like that. And then to add on to all of that, and then to say that this dude, this ninja up there, this shinobi guy.
Dude, he's not, what do you mean ninja?
Is Tyler Robinson with his granddad's World War II rifle, and he's going to use a...
They found the rifle. The parents said, hey, that's grandpa's rifle on the TV that they're showing. They saw the images of him on the security camera and said, that's the son. Let's go turn yourself in, boy.
Screwdriver, screw this sight back in, and then he's going to take the shot and have it perfectly zeroed. That's completely insane. If you're going up there in the most high pressure scenario possible, where you are on that roof with a rifle killing the white version of Martin Luther King Jr. I know it's not a one-to-one equivalent. People will get mad at me when I say that, but it's true. This is a guy that is responsible for building more than 1,000 campaign offices around the country with, I believe, tens of thousands of volunteers. Okay, it's now been mutated, I believe. This was the largest organic, genuine, young right organization, young Republican organization. I know that's another term for another thing, but really in the entire United States of America. And Charlie Kirk was its brain. And when you have a ninja get up on the roof and use Naruto running techniques and getting into special forces positions and going prone and taking the shot, it is impossible that is little Tyler Robinson out there to defend his trans furry.
Impossible for him to go one knee down and scoot a little bit or to crawl around a little bit. Impossible. He's a ninja. It's special. Nobody can scoot around or crawl around on a roof to try to not be seen, but a ninja or some military trained special forces. This is so stupid.
Lover, Lance Twiggs, who showed up looking like Jeffrey Dahmer at the hearings. I don't know. I'm Lance Twiggs. And it's like, dude, your trans girlfriend that you tried to commit murder over showed up to the trial in boy mode. What's up with that? Like, how does that work exactly? I think it's all as fake as a $3 bill. I think Tyler Robinson was drugged and co-opted and used as a patsy, much like, a Lee Harvey.
So he's still drugged? He's just drugged this whole time. Everybody's in on it. Hundreds of people are in on it, and he's just drugged. All right, dude. Did I not say on the show today, this is where it's going to go? He's MK Ultra. He's drugged. He's a crisis actor.
Oswald was, perhaps. And, this is just how things are done. Like, when this happened,
Oswald screamed that he was a patsy. He's not on video doing any of it. And then he got killed before the trial. So it's not even remotely similar.
I knew that we were on the true demon hell trajectory. And that's what the killing of Charlie Kirk represented. He was the largest anti-war voice in Trump's ear. Go watch what he said about October 7th. Go watch what he said about Israel's nuclear program. Go watch what...
Hey, I saw what he said about the invasion of Gaza, supported it. I saw what he said about bombing Iran in 2025. He supported it.
What he said about war with Iran. Go watch all of these things, okay? He's dead for a reason. It didn't just happen on accident because Tyler Robinson wanted to get some strange somehow, okay? That's not a reality. That's a complete fugazi.
Real time, uncensored.
Such garbage.
Tyler Robinson is an MK Ultra patsy. Obviously, I don't believe Tyler Robinson did the crime. I just don't believe the ballistics. I don't believe the story. It's like my dad says all the time. Like, we're not military men ourselves, but, we're hunters, right? I've been hunting since I was...
All right. Let's hear this idiot.
There he is. Clear cut. Look at a dead ringer. I've seen now watch this. Watch this. Look at your watch. Ready, go. Loch Ness Monster. Okay, watch it. Let's see how fast it takes them to get the Loch Ness Monster. This is the
So what is the argument then? That Mossad put on a fake decoy on the roof. If you're going to have somebody on the roof in the sniper's perch, why not just have that person take the shot anyway? Going to go to all the trouble to have this guy that's on camera. If he was a patsy, they would have shot him dead there. They would have done a shootout when he showed up at the thing. That, like, the conspiracies are just getting sloppier and worse and more deranged than ever with this insane looking person who all these people shield Trump like no else too,
Tyler
by the way.
Isn't an MK Ultra patsy. Jones here might just be.
All these people were completely wrong about Trump for the whole last decade, but now they've got things figured out. No, they're wrong about Trump. They're wrong about this.
What is this?
It's crazy.
Where is this? What is he doing? Why is he doing? Guess what? He's doing this lateral.
What is he doing? He's trying to stay down so nobody sees him, obviously. What do you mean, what is he doing? Do you want him to be dancing around and, like, drawing a bunch of attention to himself so he gets seen?
And someone's called by. She's great, by the way. She does this lateral movement, and then when he...
Yeah, why is there a guy on the roof if the mic took him out? If you're going to have a guy on the roof in the sniper position, why not just have that guy take the shot? No, you got to have the microphone, but then we need the decoy to be on the camera, and then we got to plant the thing, we got to get the pads. Like, it's all so many things that could have gone wrong. Dude, I've been following this guy on Twitter just all day, every day. He's just like worshiping Candace and saying the absolute dumbest things imaginable. And then InfoWars is like, bring him on. I only know this guy because I used to see him on InfoWars. InfoWars and RT.
Davinson now sent $10. I was in the army and no one taught me to move that way.
Dude, if you want to not be seen and you're trying to, like, stay low, like, there's only so many ways you can move if you're trying to stay low, and he did one of them there. Jack Stone says this is the same way the flat earthers comment on NASA videos. You're totally right, dude. Exactly the same. There's never satisfying them. They'll just always say something's fake or it's AI or it's the Fed slop or, no matter what it is. They'll move the goalpost. They'll gish gallop to something else.
Gets up, he hauls ass back. He runs back. Forget the lateral movement. He runs back. And what is this?
It's Tyler Robinson on the roof shooting Charlie Kirk. Exactly what it looks like.
And the bottom line is simple. But here's the one that I want to do. Listen, the bottom line is simply this: criminal law. Criminal law is my thing. My former prosecutor is in my blood. And I got to tell you something right now. And it doesn't take much. I just wanted to say one thing about the Tyler Robinson case. When you have a case where the gun, the murder weapon, is inconclusive, that's called not guilty. You see, Harrison, this is a lint brush.
No. Dude, what a bullshit artist. The bullet's so fragmented that they can't for sure connect it to they can't say with certainty with their forensics that it matches up to the gun that was fired. That doesn't mean he's not guilty. You factor that in with all of the rest of the evidence together. What a bullshitter, dude. Like, literally lying lawyers, Russia shills is who this guy is. And this guy, I remember I used to call him Zional because for years he would never talk about Jews or Zionist power or anything. But now he's the authority on everything, apparently.
Tyler Robinson case. When you have a case where the gun, the murder weapon, is inconclusive, that's called not guilty.
Dude, it's Tyler's gun. It's 3 hours away from its house. He's on the footage driving his car in, going up and down, confessing in the letter, confessing in the text messages, turning himself in, etching the stuff into the bullets.
See, Harrison, this is a lint brush. You see, this is inconclusive. There's
And his
no
DNA is on
connection
the gun.
to this either. This lint brush.
How'd the gun get there? How is it not clearly the gun in his pants, and that's why he's limping up the stairs?
Is as relevant as that Mauser 98 with the scope that gets in the way of the safety and has dust in the barrel. I think that was a Kansas. Dust in the wind, dust in the barrel.
Dust in the barrel. It was found stashed like in the woods. What's in the woods? Dirt. Is there don't you have to you shoot guns, you have to clean the barrels, right? Because there's dust in there. Dust builds up. Does he think when you fire it that everything gets perfectly cleaned out of the gun? These points that they bring up, dust in the barrel. Like the stupidest thing.
That's it. Not guilty.
Not
That's
guilty.
It. Forget we're done. A jury is going to go to a room and say, well, how do we find him guilty?
Yes, dude. The jury is going to go in and find him, definitely convict him, unless there's some Candace, secret crypto Candace supporter on the jury. They're going to convict him.
He thought him dead. It was like telepathy. Yeah, but there is no gut. Don't worry about it. What are we talking about?
Okay,
Who cares about half of this stuff?
This is the weird thing. I was having this conversation with a friend yesterday because I was saying, look, it wasn't the most convincing, opening salvo of the Robinson trial. There's a lot missing. And he said, well,
What do you mean not convincing? What do you mean? They got the boyfriend testifying, said he did it, identifying him on the security footage. They got him on the roof, laying down where the shot was taken. What do you mean there's no evidence? These guys, there's overwhelming evidence. It's like open shut case. He's probably going to plead guilty, try to do a plea deal, and these guys are acting like the whole case is falling apart. I've never seen such gaslighting. There's no way this is organic. Some of the people got to be useful idiots just hopping on this new cottage industry that's popped up around Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens.
They got the hearing, it's like, it didn't really convince me that much. He said, well, they have to withhold some of the evidence for trial. And I said, okay, but the evidence that they presented wasn't convincing. You would, if it was so cut and dry, they could present, here's the video of him doing it. Is that enough? It is. Okay, thank you, Your Honor. And it would have been over.
No. What?
He's all over video. What do you mean? You're just saying, that's not him on the roof, so there's no video. But there's every reason to think, every reasonable person would say that is him on the roof.
Is less than an hour.
I know, dude. The jury is going to be super fast on this. It's so clear cut. It seems rare that there's even this, always this much evidence. People have been convicted with way less evidence than this.
No, remember what the standard is: probable cause. Translation: he probably did it. Anybody can do that. Listen, not to get in the weeds, but the question I want to have is, who was the numbnuts over here?
No, you can't say anybody did it. You're not going to prove it's probable cause that I did it. Well, everything this guy says, and just the way he looks, these glasses and his eyebrows and his little voice. Who listens to this freak?
Who didn't impanel a grand jury, get an indictment, which presupposes probable cause, issue a true bill, got an indictment. That's it. There's your indictment. Let's go to trial. He hasn't even been arraigned yet. This is ridiculous. Who didn't go to the grand jury? There he is. Clear cut. Look at a dead ringer. I've seen now watch this. Watch this. Look at your watch. Ready, go. Loch Ness Monster. Okay, watch it. Let's see how fast it takes him to get the Loch Ness Monster. This is the most. What is this?
It's crazy.
What do you mean it's crazy? What is this? It's him going up to take the shot. Their whole argument is basically just nuh-uh.
Where is this? What is he doing? Why is he doing? Guess what? He's doing this lateral. Candace Owens called it by. She's great, by the way. She does this lateral movement, and then when he gets up, he hauls ass back. He runs back. Forget the lateral movement. He runs back. And who knows what?
Why are you laughing? Harrison goes, "Oh, I've never laughed so much." Like, who are you trying to kid, dude? None of this is funny.
What is this? What is this?
It's Loch Ness Bigfoot.
So I guess having him on footage actually in the spot where the shot was taken, and you just say, "What is this? What is this?" That's your argument. What is this? It's Tyler Robinson on the roof shooting Charlie. That's what it is.
That's Bigfoot right there.
Exactly.
I know him.
Where's your team? A little slow on the update there, boys. I thought for sure you'd have Loch Ness, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti. Huh?
Go in the cryptology folder.
Now that Alex is away, they're getting loaded. But
That's right.
but aside from that, it's ridiculous. And who is this guy? Proboscis, probiotic, Pasobiec. Have you ever seen this guy? He looks like his goldfish died.
Have you ever seen this guy? Dude, Pasobiec got boosted by Alex Jones more than anybody early in his career. Is Alex Jones? Where's Pasobiec to call out Alex Jones? Is Jones saying that he thinks Pasobiec is involved with
sent $5
the cover up of his
Charlie
murder?
Adam, watching these useful idiots prove they're useful idiots is pretty funny.
Yeah, laughing at these freaks is kind of funny, but it's also tragic.
He looks like he's passing a hockey puck. He looks like his last friend died. He's like thinking, what?
He looks, hey, what's up with this guy? He looks like, you mean he looks like sad or serious at his closest friend's funeral or his closest friend's trial? He looks wrong. He looks funny. Like, that's their argument? Redacted? Oh, he's on Redacted. Yeah, they're Russia shills too. You know who else is just on Redacted? Baron Coleman. So Redacted is pushing this whole thing too. Yeah, I've long had them pinned in the Russia Sphere network for sure.
What am I doing here? Push it.
Okay, this is the problem. This is the problem. How do we do that? How do we come together?
What are these faces?
This is the problem.
What are these faces he makes? Is this like his skill? I'm an old idiot with funny glasses. It just makes funny faces and sounds like a real kook. Candace is still great, by the way.
This is the problem. How do we do that? How do we come together on this while not tearing?
Didn't I say on the show earlier today, like all these people do is just make faces. Their arguments are making funny faces.
Each other down.
Before we get to the come together, what are you, John Lennon?
I'm John Lennon.
No.
I'm the peacemaker.
Who is the idiot? Who is already said, yeah, I saw it. I was there and I saw the 4K. It was as clear as day.
This is what I don't understand.
Yeah, it was. And Betty Johnson.
Yeah, dude. By 4K, I assume they didn't mean that it's like 4K crystal clear. You can see like the fingerprints on his fingers. You can see his finger pulling the trigger. No, it's a 4K camera, but clearly from very far away. In the footage that we just saw of Candace is, who knows what the source is from it, but you can see it's a recording of the screen, so it's going to be way worse quality. In the court, what they saw with the zoomed in and the circles probably looked much clearer. And we're going to end up seeing it too by the time the trial's over with. So these guys are all going to look like a bunch of idiots.
But Benny and the what? So anyway, where is it?
So trash. Harrison, you're so weak, dude. Alex, you guys are all just a bunch of such frauds pushing this shit and all this Russia propaganda all the time. All this bullshit. Look, Louder with Crowder has a way better take on this. He doesn't say, does he agree with Jones that, oh, the whole case, the Tyler Robinson case is all destroyed now? Doesn't add up. This is funny. Watch them laughing at what Candace says. She says
here is
so
the evidence,
stupid.
and then we have a new 2 minutes or less. Start the timer. All right. Claim.
300 frames per second, too.
Anybody see a recoil?
Oh, she meant recoil.
Not like Benny. You now have there
Is
is
that a real
no,
Here is the evidence, and then we have a new segment, Stupid in 2 minutes or less.
our rooftop guy begins a tactical crawl. It's actually known in the military as a lateral crawl. Let's watch that.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
And I actually want to show you side by side so you can actually see a real military man do that.
Nobody could do a little
alongside
scoot like that without advanced military training.
this person on the rooftop. Let's bring in that side by side clip. Here we go.
The Mossad decoy.
Which military wears that uniform?
Right there is known as a lateral crawl. But we're just going to show you that so that it's clear.
Seen babies do it too.
A back and forth flash there while he's military crawling. Here we go.
Military
we're
crawling.
running that back and forth there.
Okay, we're going to do a fact check after, but it's fun.
Signaling the bees. It says, Charlene, will you marry me?
You now have
Signaling.
that.
She's
so
signaling.
let's watch
I love
and
how
see.
I love how they complain that like, oh, it's the Loch Ness monster, it's Bigfoot, but that they know for sure that it's not him, and they can see him signaling. It's like they're debunking themselves when they say stuff like that.
We, with our eyes, can observe some sort of a kickback.
All right.
And again, I have to apologize.
What's a kickback?
This is not like Benny Johnson 4K footage, but it's at least clear enough here on your screen that you would be able to discern a strong kickback on a gun.
What's a kickback?
That means
Just
it's being
laying
paid
down,
by a foreign
taking a
nation.
shot.
Oh.
See here.
All 18
We have
pixels.
10 more seconds here.
That looked
okay. He is
like
up.
a slight kick, if that's what you mean, in his leg at one point, which would be
All 18
We have
pixels.
10 more seconds here.
All 18
We have
pixels.
10 more seconds here.
That looked
okay. He is
like
up.
a slight.
Dude, the idea that you're going to see a recoil from that far away and this bad of a recording of a screen it's just like you're asking for something that's impossible. Oh, but where, and then if we see a kickback, they'll be like, oh, he could have just faked the kickback. The kickback was, they timed it. I mean, if they have the decoy there and he's on the roof, why not fake the coil, right? The recoil. Oh, they didn't think of the recoil to fake it.
Kick, if that's what you mean, in his leg at one point, which would be the very mild recoil in a prone position, taking the shot.
It's a solid 300 frames per second, too.
Anybody see a recoil?
Oh, she meant recoil.
Oh, recoil.
I
Yeah.
didn't see
Yes,
that.
I did. It's
If
very
you're
slight,
looking
but yeah.
through a scope, as he allegedly was, you might even expect a black eye.
What?
Wait. We should expect a black eye. If he was looking through the scope, we should expect. Does she think that when people shoot through scopes that they get black eyes? See, she has no idea what she's talking
Do
about.
any of these morons realize that video footage they're
No.
given is a recording of a recording?
I think they all know, but it helps their argument to try to say like, oh, it's so blurry, right? Can't see anything, can't confirm that it's him, so that type of thing. Watching them all crack up when she says he should have a black eye, and she does the face too. See, it's all about the faces all the time. They can just say any normal thing, but if they do a funny face when they do it, their dumb audience just goes, "Oh, that's suspicious."
Oh, she meant recoil.
Oh, recoil. Yeah. Yes, I did. It's very slight, but yeah.
Through a scope, as he allegedly was, you might even expect a black eye.
What? Why? Did a bird punch him in the face? Recoil.
Oh, recoil.
That face.
Yes, I did. It's very slight, but yeah.
Through a scope, as he allegedly was.
If you're looking through a scope, as he allegedly was.
You might even expect a black eye.
What?
You might even expect a black eye. See what I'm saying? How she does it.
Why? Did a bird punch him in the face? What?
Like, it's a 30-06 in the pro. She's acting like it's Samus Aran's plasma cannon. Like, okay.
We showed a clip earlier in the stream today where a woman was standing upright, which and shoots a 30-06, and you can barely even see her do a recoil. To say there's no, sure, they got him on all over the security footage in his car there and his DNA, and he confessed, but like you can't see the recoil from super far away on the zoomed in security footage, so not guilty. That's what that idiot Lionel tried to say. Yeah, every sniper just has like black eyes all the time, apparently.
This brings us to stupid in 2 minutes or less, or it's free. Toolman, 2 minutes or less, start the timer. All right. Claim, first one, that this evidence was withheld from the court. Truth, actually the defense demanded it be withheld, not the prosecution. The prosecution wanted this all publicly available because they find it very damning for Tyler Robinson. The defense said, don't release it.
Here's a question I have. How is it like messing with the jury to show all the evidence or the high quality stuff? How is showing the interviews of the boyfriend saying he did it, or the confession letter, or him on the security footage there, and all? How is everything else not messing with the jury, but they just can't show that footage? I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense.
The judge ordered that to be the case. Claim, the video depicts an advanced tactical military crawl. Truth, former Army Ranger Josh?
No.
Okay. Claim.
All right. We're almost at 2 hours. And I have to pee so bad. The feds don't want you to see this. Project Constitution's a total fat idiot. Jones, look. The official Charlie Kirk assassination story is now 100% dead. Like, talk about delusional. Talk about absolutely delusional. Jones is 100% a part of pushing this Russian psyop, I believe. Allegedly Russian. Jimmy Dore's pushing it. Another Russia shill. Boosting Alex Jones. Anyone still pushing the Fed slop? Now, how does Jimmy Dore and Lionel have such similar physiognomy, by the way? Another Russia shill. Anyone still pushing the Fed slop narrative of Charlie Kirk assassination is a paid liar. No, how about you're a paid liar? Maybe I think anybody still pushing the conspiracies and promoting Candace, I think they're paid liars working for Russia. See this? Oh, we're just asking questions. No, you are saying that anybody that doesn't agree with you kooks and every schizo thing you say is a paid liar. Nobody's paying me to do this. They are in a traitor. So I'm apparently paid and a traitor to America and an aiding Israel if I don't agree with every stupid thing these idiots say.
These people as foreign agents.
We need to.
Easy win for Vance to help the widow of his friend.
I don't know how they're not being investigated as a foreign op. 6,000 likes. I saw Sam Tripoli say the thing too. Fuck all of these people, dude. Calling us feds because we don't go along with your kooky theories. Your magical exploding microphones. Baron Coleman says, I keep waiting for the FedSlop talking points to come out after Real Candace nuked their case from orbit. Yeah, nuked from orbit. Totally. That totally happened. This was a clip of Chase Geyser from InfoWars saying Mossad did it. All these people, too, by the way, they all just share. They're fake news machines. They're all sharing this fake Zelensky State of Israel passport. I've seen this before. Totally fake. And look, it gives the Jews easy W's, makes their opposition, their ops look like liars. 16,000 likes for the fake Russian propaganda. We are inundated with Russia propaganda and Russian bots, and ultimately it's serving to be the discredited, controlled opposition to Israel and Jews. So I think they're all in on it. Ian Carroll, another one. General Flynn is promoting this bullshit as well.
Just like I want, and I don't see any questions up here yet about Charlie Kirk. This Charlie Kirk trial is not going in it's not going in the direction that I think everybody wanted it to. I personally don't believe that this kid shot Charlie with a rifle that fires a 30-06 bullet. I mean, there's just too many questions. So I'm not sure why I jumped into Charlie Kirk, because he made me think about him. Just like I want, and I don't see any questions.
Like what questions? How did a soft point bullet break up and not have an exit wound? Well, soft point bullets expand and can break up, and bullets do weird things and don't always have exit wounds. Deal with it. You think the medical examiner's on it? You think the timing of the shot and where the shot happened and everybody in the crowd turning and looking? What questions? Flynn, another suspected Russian agent and disinfo operator, he's pushing it. Alex Jones, Flynn, Candace, Stu, Dugan, RT, Redacted, George Galloway, Jackson Hinkles. I mean, all of the big people pushing this are already been pinned in my mind as in this Russia propaganda sphere. Not a coincidence. Mario Knopfel, another one. You guys might not know who he is. He's got 3.7 million followers
on Rumble. I think a lot of us would be interested in you covering your full views on Russia and maybe watching the Yuri Bezmenov interviews.
Those clips have been around for so long, dude. I've covered those so many times in the past, dude. It's such old news. Maybe we can watch an old Johnny Gat video or something like that. Anyway, he goes, that's a lateral crawl, not something someone untrained does instinctively. So Mario's pushing it, Alex Jones. Redacted with Baron Coleman. Listen to this stupid one from Candace.
Have a ton of anxiety shooting deer. There was none of this. It's too quick. Sure did look like a professional. I will say that.
Galloway.
So
right.
Somebody who would, at the very least, if he's just a hunter, have a ton of trophies to show for it.
So Tyler's not a hunter. Tyler didn't shoot him because he couldn't have, because he's not a hunter, because he doesn't have antlers and buffaloes, trophies, like in his bedroom or something. This is the type of argument she makes.
He'd have antlers. He'd have...
Yeah. Nobody can learn how to crawl without military training, but every baby, we all learn how to crawl as babies.
Maybe some buffalo from Africa. I don't know. He'd have just a lot going on.
No black eyes, no CPR, no buffalo, Lance Twiggs wasn't interviewed. He was never on campus. Fort Huachuca, Jon Snow, Egyptian plains. It's a God thing. She's just been wrong about absolutely everything.
There to show that he was that skilled, because I would say my husband's a darn good hunter. He's a very good hunter. And I've only gone hunting with him once in Africa, and he's not taken that shot that fast. nor have I ever seen him do that tactical move in particular.
Tactical move.
Anyways, but what do I know?
Yeah. Was he ever trying to hide on a roof from being noticed in his Africa hunting trips? Could you imagine? You're just like trying to run around like a commando so you're not seen by the lions in Africa. She's going on hunting trips with her husband in Africa.
Who would, at the very least, if he's just a hunter, have a ton of trophies.
Oh, he didn't have
to show for
trophies.
it.
Pretty sus. No trophies. I can't get over how stupid she is, man. It's the worst.
Is that as this
is what he hold on, let's do Baron Coleman on redacted.
The state has an interesting burden in that it's greatly reduced from what we normally think of with a criminal trial. So in a criminal trial, we normally think of beyond reasonable doubt, almost absolutely certain, however you want to word it. With a preliminary hearing, the burden is actually much reduced from there, and the defense is limited as to what the challenges to the evidence produced to the judge. So the state comes in, all they have to show is that there is some basis to take this thing to trial. There's some basis that a judge can say, you know what, a fact finder should look at these facts. It's really just to rule out nonsensical prosecutions. And so the state rarely shows all their cards. They rarely prepare a full trial. But they often try to show something really good, particularly when there's some sort of public interest involved, like there is in the Charlie Kirk investigation. So the question is, did the state meet their burden? The state is telling us that Tyler Robinson solely planned and executed Charlie Kirk, that he climbed to the top of a school building with a .30-06 and fired a round that took Charlie Kirk's life. They have to submit enough evidence to the judge. They have to produce enough evidence to the judge from which the judge can determine that that actually did take place, and that the jury should be required or should be allowed to consider whether to convict him on those allegations.
Now, something that caught my attention and the attention of a lot of people is that they tried to use like a sizzle reel of evidence rather than just raw footage of things. And that seemed to me exceedingly manipulative, but is that rare to do?
Zooming in on a camera from far away is manipulative. Okay. I've heard this guy was Ollie Alexander's lawyer. So we got Alex Jones, General Flynn, Ollie Alexander, all at Stop the Steal with Trump.
You?
It is. Typically, you will not. I like the word sizzle reel because on campus the second time, we don't about it. One of the TPUSA representatives.
They're kvetching about the video compilation of all the best parts and zoomed in, which we're going to end up seeing. That's the best they got, is complaining that they zoomed in. So stupid. Okay, almost done. We're going to save this stuff for tomorrow. Stu Peters gets destroyed by Andrew Wilson. Another
trial for his life, saying he definitely did it.
And what have you learned in your
criminal justice system
what have you
in this
learned in your
country means
investigation,
that it's
Stu?
the burden of the prosecution to
What have
show
you
us how he
learned
did it.
What have you learned actually in your investigation here? What have you actually learned? Just that TPUSA is full of liars?
Learned a whole lot of things.
What?
Yeah, of course they are.
Okay, what? What have you actually
Primarily,
learned?
I've learned a whole lot.
What?
But that's not what I'm here to
Yeah,
discuss.
what? Okay,
I'm here
so right.
to have you
I'm
tell
here-
me
I'm
how
running an investigation
Tyler
when I can't
Robinson
even tell you
killed
what I've
Charlie
learned.
Kirk.
I can't even tell you what I've learned in my investigation.
Let's get into the theories instead of getting into more personal claims. How about we get into, we haven't seen it spelled out, but what
personal claims are the theories
we actually think happened, or what is really going on. This is still going on. It's in trial. I would like to hear from both, if you guys are okay with this. If we hear some theories and we hear what do you think actually
Hey, we're
happened.
about to
What's
hit
the truth?
200 people for a late night
hold on a
stream.
second.
Let's
To do
go.
that, what we're doing is we're prosecuting the investigators, which is millions of people who don't believe Turning Point USA that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk. There
So-
should be no problem providing evidence
So he's
to
not gonna give
argue,
you
to
one,
debate
Sneako.
that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk.
He's
I
not.
talk about this shit every day.
He's not going to actually give you
I talk about this. I talk about
anything.
my perspective.
Can
what
you tell
I
me
have
what you
learned
think happened then?
every single day.
I'll tell you what I think happened if you tell me what you think happened. Go ahead, Stu. What happened?
I talk about every single day. What
Yeah,
I've
what
learned.
happens?
That's
Greg?
what I spend my. I'm here to debate you.
I
about
know, and I'm asking
Tyler
you
Robinson
what
killing
happened.
Charlie Kirk.
What do you think happened?
Dude.
That's what Sneako wants to know. It's what the audience want to know.
He's such a bitch in this debate. Doesn't answer any question. Won't try to defend any of the claims he's been making. I've never seen such sophistry.
What do you
We
think?
could find a point of contention if we both spell this out. Then
Yeah, what
we
do you
could
think
find a
happened,
way
Stu?
to
And
lead this
such
discussion.
evasion.
What I don't
and
believe happened is that Tyler
filibustering.
Robinson shot Charlie Kirk in his neck bones of steel with his grandfather's stolen 30-06 and confessed to his dad and confessed to a minister and a U.S. Marshal and turned himself in.
Yeah. So what do you
Beyond
think
that-
happened?
Hold on, let
Beyond
him
that,
answer. Let him answer.
There can be all kinds of speculation as to what happened.
So I'm just going to say nuh-uh to all the actual evidence and just say it could be anything. It's just is like we know the Earth's not a globe. We know we can prove there's no curve, but it could be anything. I'm not claiming it's flat. It's the same type of pill pull we've heard. Okay, that'll be tomorrow. Candace was talking about... This is Charlie talking about Candace a few days before he was shot.
Is that as this debate has come up, and your question was beautiful and wonderful, some people have used this debate as an excuse to peddle their Jew hate. And there is a disturbing rise online by some people of people that want to blame the Jews for why they have no money in their bank account and why their car ran out of gas and why they can't make good decisions. Everybody, if you are blaming the Jews for your decisions, you are on a bad self-destructive cycle and you should stop immediately and repent. That is evil and that is dark and that is wrong. You should not do that. But there's a lot of things the Israeli government does that I don't like. I can name them. The Israeli government has really bad abortion policies. The Israeli government has gay pride parades in downtown Tel Aviv. The Israeli government pushed the vaccine on all their people and basically turned Israel into a petri dish for a vaccine that none of us supported. I don't like the fact that the Israeli government mistakenly or unmistakably bombed the church the last couple weeks ago. We shouldn't support that. With all that being said, though, Israel looks like a much better country when contrasted with what I said earlier, with Islamic totalitarianism around it. They're not a perfect country. They're not a country that, honestly, we should even talk as much as we do. But we as Christians should pray for the peace of Jerusalem. That is unmistakable. We as Christians should reject Jew hate, and we as Christians should find unity in one thing that we can all agree on. We should seek to bring every Jewish person on the planet to Jesus Christ, because Jesus is the answer. Steve, do you want to explain?
Well, this wasn't about Candace. What are you talking about? I hate when people bullshit. Let's do this. Stu Peters on the space before the debate. Let's hear what else he has to say.
Okay. So you believe there was an exploding mic on Charlie's right shoulder, right?
I don't believe that it was necessarily an exploding mic, but yes, a weaponized mic. Yes.
Okay. So you think it was the battery that come from the mic and hit Charlie on the left side of the neck?
That's right. We've been through this.
Would you think that battery would be moving as fast as the bullet?
No, I don't think that a battery would move as fast as a bullet. No.
Well, from what I understand, it would be moving nearly 10 times the speed of a bullet. But let's say the neck, we know the neck is round. The center point of the front of the neck sticks out the furthest point. So where Charlie was hit was further around. So you're going to say that this battery skipped the high point of his neck, come around and hit him in the neck and stopped. It didn't rip through his neck and keep going. It stopped in his neck.
It didn't stop. Well, yeah, it stopped after it made a shallow entry, but deep enough to create the trauma that we saw, where after the
A shallow entry, but deep enough.
Object was removed, after it fell out, it gave a path.
The object fell out. He thinks that he got that the hole in Charlie's neck, something went in, but then fell out.
Way for the escape of the brain blood that we all saw coming out.
The brain blood, not the heart and the neck. It was the brain blood that we saw. Dude, these guys are absolutely retarded.
And it's also,
so you don't think it went all the way to the spine?
What's that?
So you don't think it went all the way to the spine?
No, I don't, because I can see the object in a freeze frame falling from his neck, and then immediately after that, I can see all the blood start coming out. So the first thing that I did was I reached out. I'm in Minnesota, and I happen to know a couple of trauma surgeons, and they referred me above them also to above and beyond them, who both told me, by the way, that it was their hypothesis that it was brain blood. And they described the reasons why. And then
Brain
they
blood.
also had me talk to a
Look at this.
neurosurgeon.
Because the bullet's coming in from
These
the
people,
neck,
obviously,
boom,
I can't
right
mention
there.
because they would lose their jobs.
hits in
But
the back, but
a
doesn't
very
break through.
qualified trauma neurosurgeon, brain surgeon, who also agrees.
Guys, did you hear what Stu said? Stu said he thinks that it only went through a little bit into his neck. Forget how it jumps away from his chest here to go around and do a turn and then go in the neck just a little bit before it falls out and the brain blood comes through. No, he got shot from over here, 7% angle. Broke up when it hit his skin because it's a soft point. Broke up into a bunch of pieces, pushed out the cavity explosion, whatever it's called, inside his upper back and even in his head some. Caused damage to the vertebrae, and the bullets probably went in and bounced around and blew everything up with all that energy. He was on it. The dude was right up here on the roof. Oh, it couldn't have come from the guy right on the roof. Out the back, but didn't break through. Okay, clear as day. Stu's bullshitting.
That what we saw coming out of Charlie's neck was brain blood, and then they described to me why that process would occur.
My unnamed source from Minnesota told me it was brain blood. All right, dude.
Why it would be brain blood draining in that coagulated, darkened fashion.
Dude, coagulated, darkened fashion? Does he thinks that the blood starts coagulating like a millisecond after getting the injury, the wound? Instant coagulation from the brain blood. He has no fucking idea what he's talking about.
Why it would be falling rather than spurting. They described to me because they're, ED trauma surgeons at Mayo, which is, in the state of Minnesota. If you get shot, you're probably getting airlifted to them at Mayo, the St. Mary's campus in Rochester, Minnesota. And they explained to me about the blood spatter and the spurting that occurs with most wounds that they see from a gunshot in the neck.
But they never see the wounds in the gunshot. The people at the hospital don't see the gunshot wound splatter when it happens.
Anonymous sent $5. Here's
Thank
another
you, Anonymous.
$5, Adam.
This doesn't even make sense. Oh, you're telling me the surgeons that you supposedly know at Mayo Clinic that see all the gunshot wounds, they don't see the gunshot wound when it happens and see the splatter and the brain blood. So this doesn't even make sense.
These are from lower caliber, mainly pistols that, thugs use to shoot each other on the north side of Minneapolis. They're not even high-powered rifles. Now, to extend to my own personal experience, I have shot plenty of big game with high-powered rifles, 308, 300, 7mm, and a 30-06. I've seen the same spurting. I've seen the trauma that it creates at 150 yards. I've seen the trauma that it creates at 250 yards. I've seen the trauma that it creates inside of 100 yards. And it's not consistent with anything that I have ever seen in my personal experience in using high-powered rifles. I've seen the exit wounds, and when there's a lack of an exit wound, I have seen the trauma path that the round follows if it hits something extremely dense. But what we're talking about here is neck tissue, and we're not talking about the backbone of a mule deer or an elk. We're talking about the neck bones of Charlie Kirk, which I don't believe were Superman-like, and I don't believe that there was a surgeon that told that to Andrew Covid either.
Oh my God. I don't believe. That's your argument, is I don't believe? It makes perfect sense to me. It looks exactly like a bullet came in from here. This looks exactly like they're trying to say that this blew up into his neck. Then why is this all moving before that? This is the dumbest explanation I've ever heard. They should have never gone with the road mic retardation. It's like the dumbest thing I could have imagined. They would have been better off just saying it was a Mossad sniper and then they set up the other dude somehow. They should have stuck with that. They never go full conspiratard. They went full conspiratard. Here's Nick making fun of Owen Benjamin's latest. Owen Benjamin says that he thinks that they ate Charlie Kirk. He wasn't buried. He wasn't cremated. They ate him in a satanic ritual. Let's hear Nick clown on him for this.
Did you see Owen Benjamin's new theory that Jews ate Charlie Kirk?
I did, yeah. The latest development from the think tank is that they ate him. What's the evidence? Well, evidence, what is that? Not required. Is it logical? Is it rational? That's what's scary about them, is they just pull this stuff out of thin air. Literally out of thin air. They have no relationship with reality anymore. That's why I say it's psychosis, because it's all interior. They have no relationship with reality. They're not observing the facts, gathering information. They're not observing how things work. They're just throwing stuff out there. Aliens, extrasensory perception,
time
astral
travel,
realms,
dreams,
giants. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's disturbing. It's irrational. It's anti-Western. It's anti-white is what it is.
So true.
The essence of Western white civilization is that we have a relationship with reality. And the way the Egyptians didn't, in the way that the Babylonians didn't, in the way that the Hindus didn't.
Nick, if you believe in the Bible and magic Jesus, you don't get to claim that like you have a connection to reality. You have just the same type of magical thinking. If you think that magic words turn grape juice into real blood, you've got magical thinking. If you think believing in a scapegoat, blood magic, atonement, sacrifice of some superhero 2,000 years ago gets you into heaven, you're not living in reality either. Sorry.
And the way the Egyptians didn't, in the way that the Babylonians didn't, in the way that the Hindus didn't, we observe reality. We have a rational faculty. That's the difference. And so these people, it's like a shamanistic cult led by a voodoo priestess. They ate him? Why won't you tell us where he's buried? Is it because you ate him in a ritual? Yeah, that's the next most logical explanation.
Yeah, clearly that's the only other possibility.
Hey Nick, curious to know why you aren't found of Asian women. They're smarter and more.
Okay. I think that's all we have for today. I'll be back tomorrow. No Candace stuff tomorrow. We'll take a day off from the Candace kooks and the conspiratards and cover some other stuff. We got some Christian stuff to go through. Some other various conspiracy stuff. We'll do the Noahide stuff also. So, fun late night stream. I'm going to get me some late night burgers, late night cheeseburgers and milkshakes and french fries. Appreciate everybody for watching. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below. Big shout out to everybody that donated and makes this show possible, and the streams wouldn't be possible without you. Love you guys. And clip the show, share the link, sign up for Substack. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice night.
to be a Christian believer, but also as a seeker. Mama never held back the good, bad, or ugly from me. Eventually started wondering, after a long time of fighting myself. I saw a post that said exactly what I felt. Jesus, an ancient deception. Found Adam Green through a Twitter suggestion. Then I watched his debate with Duvid, leaving Christianity. Finally I could do it. Lost good friends, middle fingers on their hands. So many want to remain clueless. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. I'm just asking you to see my side. Some say I'm anti-Semitic, others say that I'm a Jew, but the truth is I am neither, I'm just trying to reach you. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. I know what it's like to be seen as the devil, when in reality you're trying to help them. They say I need to be saved by Jesus, but they're the ones in need of the saving. There's already been a few, started with the fall of Rome. It's not God, it's evil people destroying these homes. Human-made prophecies try to start the end times. See a foreign land as holy, brainwashed to resent mine. Books our ancestors wanted passed down to their people got replaced with ones that say our ancestors were evil. Been worshiping demons and knowing not what they did. Should we trust ourselves or the books that make us villains? You fall for the latter and say we should be tolerant, but your faith builds a prison in your head. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. I'm asking you to see my side. And one group says I'm anti-Semitic, another says that I'm a Jew, and the truth is I am neither, I'm just trying to reach you. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. And I'm all for not letting faith have us divided. But the spread of your faith was when all this deadly division started. I feel like Adam Green sometimes. I need you all to see my side. I've seen it, I believe it. And one group says I'm anti-Semitic, another says that I'm a Jew, and the truth is I am neither, I'm just trying to reach you. Can you see my view? Listen to Adam Green sometimes.